Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for our Manifest Faster brain training. It's been an intense few days here, watching the world go through some difficult things, and it's a little bit distracting to figure out how to go forward in a world of manifesting when circumstances are kind of out of control, or seemingly so they are. So we're jumping right in today. This is Catherine, your Queen of Invisible Money, and we're right about midway through September here in 2020, and surrounded by a lot of distress. The world is going through a lot of upheaval in the natural realm, with storms and fires and earthquakes and hurricanes and all that sort of thing, typhoons in certain parts of the world. And then, of course, we have elections going on and lots of civil unrest. And so it can be sobering to think about manifesting and what it is that you're wanting to have. How do you choose something that's important enough to put your focus? Because if it is your desire to manifest an easier life financially, which most of the people that come to the invisible money game are looking for a financial breakthrough of some kind. And then a cousin to that, of course, is wanting to have some sort of breakthrough in your love life. Venus, the planet Venus, the energy of Venus, it influences both love and money. And so many times when people come and find my work about invisible money, they're also lonely. There's a loneliness factor, and there's also a lack of revenue, a lack of spending money that can bring people to a place in their midlife where everything looks disastrous. And then we talk about blocks. And what are blocks, and how do you know you have them? And so I want to talk about that a little bit today, because it can be hard to identify with a block. What is it? What do people talk about? And if you're a beginner with manifesting, this can be something that is confusing, and that's why I wanted to talk about it this morning. And also, even if you've been aware of manifesting for a really long time, the fact is that time can sneak up on you. All of a sudden you realize that you've been waiting for something a year or two or even more. If you belong to Facebook, one of the things they do on there is they bring up a picture from last year or a picture from 3 years ago. And you see that picture and you think, what? It can't be that long ago, right? And so that's where I think we need to be aware and do an audit of what it is that we're wanting, what we're focused on, so that we can make sure that we're on the right track, okay? So that's what I want to talk about today for the most part. What I'm aware of in my own mind is going through my own audit, I guess I would call it, where I'm trying to think, what is it that I want to see happen in my life in the next 6 months, next 3 months? What would I like to see develop that's not here now? And that's a very good place to start. So if you have a pencil and a paper, write that down. What is it that you want to see develop in the next 90 days? That brings us right to the end of the year. I know we have a lot of distractions that are outside of ourselves that we can't do much about. But right now, even though you might be quarantined, even though your life might be pinched tightly because of your circumstances, you can still want to develop something. For me personally, it's 6 months almost now, right, since all of this started, and I feel, how do I say, curbed. I was thinking about curb your enthusiasm, but I feel curbed because I feel I'm genuinely, I can live alone with genuine pleasure. I enjoy my own company. It's been true for many, many years. But even now, I find myself slipping into the blues a little bit. And it's not something that I readily talk about a lot because I'm a cheerleader. You know, I like to be able to chipper people up and help people find their focus. But also, I want to be very real with you who are listening to these recordings, because it's not easy to stay focused. And one of my students said to me just this week, "I'm so glad to hear you're having an off day." And I laughed, and we laughed together, because for whatever reason, I can take a licking and keep on ticking like a Timex watch. But I think part of it the seasoning comes from being older, from being 67 and having lived through a lot of turmoil. And I remember back to the very first couple of deaths that I went through as a young person, one being a beloved grandmother when I was about 25-ish or so, and then a good friend of ours was killed in an accident when I was in my late 30s. And those two events blew me out of the water, the slice of grief that just dropped through my being. I remember looking back, and it was like that, like a karate chop, like a hatchet through the center of me, because both were shocking and unexpected. And so I want to start there, because when we talk about blocks and things that can separate us from believing in the overall good of life, because that's basically what it is, to believe that no matter what happens, that there's some good that can come out of it, and that you can't change life, you can't change circumstances. And that can be confusing when you're talking about manifesting. And you hear somebody say, you can have whatever you want. Your thoughts create things. You can create your own life. How does that fit with fires or hurricanes or horrific accidents of fate? Bad things happen. You can't avoid them. So as we're trying to figure out how to get out of our own way, which is basically when people feel stuck, like their career won't advance, or they can't find a soulmate, or they can't lose weight. These are the outer symptoms of being stuck. But where does it come from? And I think partly my own theories about it is that those very crushing early experiences in life, or early deaths, for example, when your family moves, when you have often an early breakup between the age of like 13 and 20. Often that kind of heartbreak can put a dent in your belief in what's possible. In my case, there was a fire when I was very young. I was not 2. I was right around 2. And my mom had a tragic accident where her clothing caught on fire, and she did survive. But it was very, very painful recovery, and she was scarred for life on her lower body and her belly. So that was something that happened. It was just in the course of life. But going through that left me with some post-traumatic stress issues, PTSD, and overreacting to things that frighten me, that type of thing that started way back then. So I believe everyone who's listening to this call has had certain experiences that have been difficult. And when the shock of it happens, we have no tools for that. And so I feel like it puts a dent into our sense of ourselves. It's just how I see it. And so then going forward, there's just a lot of doubt and fear about how we interpret what's going on in our lives. And so blocks start, I believe, out of fear and anxiety when we don't understand. And then we're so creative with our minds that we can work it through and we go forward. We might watch the adults in our life, or we might judge from the reactions of people. Whatever it is, humans are amazing adapting machines, and we just adapt ourselves as we go forward. And we bounce like inside of a pinball machine on all these different circumstances. And then when life doesn't work out, then there's questioning going on. What's going on? Why did this marriage fail? Why did I get fired again? Why do people look at me funny? Why is it hard to make friends? All those sorts of questions, which lead people to YouTube or to books or to Google, and they start to search. And hence, you're listening to my voice. There are a million, I'm sure, a million coaches, counselors, social workers, psychologists, whatever, humans on the planet who have material that they're recording and putting out there. And you just happen to be listening to these words right now. And for whatever reason, you might be stuck or trying to figure out what it is that you are seeking and how long you've been seeking it. But we know that being stuck is easy to see it's easy to see and experience, right? Maybe you're looking for a new job, you don't have enough of blank. I don't have enough blank. That's the thing that's drawing you to figure out why you're stuck. This is good, but see if you can feel it inside your body. Feel the thing that you're wanting, the lack of it right now. So even I mean, there's a couple things that are quote unquote missing in my life categories that are empty. One is the relationship arena. It's empty of a significant other. That's what it is. My thoughts about it certainly can make me miserable or celebratory, depending on how I'm looking at it, because I do love living in my own space for sure. But I wouldn't mind dating, I think. But what happened when I started dating more actively a few weeks ago is that it brought a lot of confusion, and it also took my peace of mind. And that's not good. And so for me, that's what being stuck feels like, lack of peace of mind. But where I feel it is, I feel all over lethargic. That's one physical feeling that I have when I'm out of sorts or ill at ease. I feel kind of lethargic. I have to make myself go outside. I want to be a couch potato. So my body starts to withdraw from the very thing that would be good for it, which is to go outside. So everybody will have their feeling. Some people's jaw will hurt right up into their ears. It'll ache. That's a sign of a block. Some people, their belly will just clutch tight. Some people, not to be gross, but it's their butt cheeks. And they just squeeze really tight. And you get used to it. You don't even know you're doing it. No kidding. Everyone has physical signs of being stuck and being blocked, because it is really physical energy that's being blocked in you. It causes cramping and lower back pain. And talk to chiropractors and osteopaths about how muscles that are over tight pull the bones out of order. Okay? So if you have all these physical feelings about blocks and something is missing in your life, or so you think, you are in the perfect position to melt a block. And what I want to do right now is I want to be able to help you with a really brief little exercise to grab a block and do some work on it. All right? So the first thing that we need to do is to, as we've described so far in the recording thus far, if you've just joined us, We want to find an area of life where you feel there's a lack. So look out into the next 90 days. What is it that you look and you think, gosh, if I had this thing, my life would be better? And don't get over super spiritual on me. I know that having world peace and, having the fires put out and those kinds of things are good for our intentions, and we can do that. But for right now, I do want you to turn the gaze inward. What is it you're really wanting? Is there a completion of a contract that's due? Are you waiting to hear from someone that's supposed to be acting and they're not? Do you need a new appliance? We have a story. I'm going to invite Monica to tell her own story. I have to have her interview because it's just amazing how Uni showed up for her in a very real way. What is it that you need? Write it down on a piece of paper. And when you think about, do you need it? For me personally, do I need to be dating right now? Not really. I mean, I do. I'm very content when I look at that part, when I allow myself to look at all that contents me right now. Would it be fun for me to go out with someone? Yes. I enjoy the company. I really do enjoy the dating process, even though it's frustrating and can be a little bit intimidating. I enjoy it. So when I say, do I want it within 90 days, I have to have a little talk to myself. So you guys do whatever it is that you're wanting to manifest. Write it down right now. You can reevaluate as the week goes forward. But generally speaking, there's something that all of us truly do need. Okay? All right, so once you write it down, this is the key. If you had to wait for a year to see any progress on this particular goal, excuse me, I'm moving a lot of energy today, my goodness. Okay, this is good. If this did not change in 1 year, on a scale of 1 to 10, how disappointed would you be? And we're looking for, an 8 or 9 here. I want you to be really honest. What is it that if it did not change in a year, you would be disappointed? Excellent. So that's what we're wanting. Now, I want you to feel, we're going to do a body scan here. Bear with me. This is a little bit of an advanced technique, but you guys have been with me every week, okay? So take a breath. I want you to think about if it's a whole year and nothing moves on this particular desire. And I want you to start at the top of your head and just kind of let your attention go down through your body. And where do you notice any tightness, any squeezing, any cringe? You want to look for a physical feeling. Now for me, I feel on my upper chest, kind of where the collarbone points are when you're tapping, but it's a little bit lower than that, and it aches. I feel like a throb. Okay? Now I've learned over time that when those muscles, whatever their names are, that are in my top chest, when they ache, I'm actually feeling sad. And I'm saying that, I feel like I'm saying it kind of robotically. I'm just kind of saying it. Like, it feels robotic because I used to call it my hurt feelings feeling. That's in my upper chest, off to the side, upper left and upper right. And those two places in my chest I came to recognize over time would feel achy when I felt sad. It was just something I observed. I didn't know when I was younger. I didn't know before I was 50. No kidding. So some people, their tummies, they'll just feel upset. They'll feel nauseous. You think of delaying what you're wanting for a year. Some people, their lower back will hurt. It'll start to ache. So this is what we're looking for. It's like joining with your body, asking your body to join with you when you're trying to identify whether or not you're having a block. Because blocks are in your mind. I just have to look. There's a bird that's, no kidding, sitting here looking. I mean, he's sitting on a chair, bright, looking at me like, what are you talking about? And my bird bath is full. But anyway, I'm sorry to have to interrupt, but I'm like, hello, what is it you're having for us? Anyway, the idea world of blocks is where we live most of the time. You know, we know we're blocked. We look at our bills, or we're worried. Worry is in the mind. It's in, you know, it's alive in our ideas. But a lot of people don't feel blocks in their body. And that's what, once you start to feel a little bit of ache in your jaw, sometimes you'll feel a tingle behind your eyes, and they accompany the ideas. So your ideas are upset, but your body is also giving you little clues. If you feel nothing, then you definitely want to look into tapping. And that's actually something that I should incorporate more on Saturdays, is doing some actual tapping so that you guys can hear it. Because the body, when it's tapped with EFT or other, you know, there's a gazillion treatments and acupressures and all sorts of stuff for the body. But when the body starts to be able to help you process the blocks, meaning your ideas change, but also your body starts to support you, that's when you will find yourself more at ease and calm more of the time. People say, what does it feel like to be in the vortex? That's a very specific term for Abraham. Or what it feels like to be in alignment, when you're at your best, in the zone. And to me, it's like this relaxed awareness. Your body is very relaxed when you're in the zone, and your mind is very aware. Can we do it all the time? No. We're not designed to. We're designed to be in neutral, ready to act. That's the way I like to look at it. Ready, athletically ready. I play golf, and so I think about being in a ready position. When you're ready to receive a serve in tennis, or you're ready to take a shot, ready in baseball, ready. If you're in a ready situation, you're neutral, you're at ease, and you can respond. With life, you're at your best bet, because it's like improv. We never know what's happening. But if your ideas are blocked and your body doesn't support you, it doesn't know how to feel, because I had to learn. I didn't understand goosebumps at all. You guys have heard me say this. I thought goosebumps were just because you're cold, until I was well into my 50s. I did not recognize burping. People burp for a lot of reasons. I know that part of what I do with burping is moving energy. It comes on me out of the blue when I'm talking to clients. And I can feel people's blocks in my own body. I can feel them. That's why when you guys tap with me, or I do a magnetizer with you, I don't need to hear what it is that's troubling you, because for whatever reason I feel it in my body. And so that's where today your biggest goal is to see if your ideas, the disappointing ideas that you're holding about not having your desire yet, if you can feel any echo in your body. That's our goal. All right? So take a breath. And we do have time, and I do have people that may want to volunteer. I know some of my people are very quiet on the line, and I respect that deeply. But I do have some people that are here that may want to step in, and we could just do a spontaneous bit of tapping. Because I don't know where y'all are in this game, trying to play with the idea of getting your ideas about what you're wanting, and then be able to pull in some body feelings that support, decorate, or flavor the ideas. Okay, that's what we're looking for. So if there's somebody who would like to serve as a volunteer, they could push *6, I think, and that'll put you into the cue to let me know that you have something to say. Let me just switch here. Is there anybody who wants to step in and do a couple minutes of tapping to close us out? You can hit *6 if you do. Okay. And it looks like I don't have anybody. If you are trying to tell me and I'm not getting it, okay, let me, you can flash me a text. But at any rate, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead and lead us with, because I just want to tap. I feel like tapping has been so important to me personally, and so I'm just going to lead as if it was for my own heart, because I did have those sad feelings. And I think when I look at just people say you think too much to me. I do like to analyze things though, because I live safe. I have more than enough in every life category. I truly don't need a new outfit or anything. I don't need new crayons. I bought myself new colored pencils. That was a treat. But it's like I don't really need anything to live a happier life today. That's the truth. If I were to open my life to another person, and these dates that I've had over the last few weeks, it has opened up sadness for me because of feeling so disappointed at misjudging people that I've trusted in the past. And sometimes it's safer to be alone than to say, okay, who are you really? So let's tap a little bit. You guys, those within hearing of my voice, just go ahead and repeat these statements after me. Let's close out with a little tapping here on recognizing our blocks, honoring them, working with them, befriending them, knowing that blocks are our companion for life, something we do not get rid of. So on the side of the hand, even though a part of me strongly resists the idea of welcoming blocks as companions, I completely love and accept myself. And even though there's a part of me that does not want to embrace blocks, I completely love and accept myself anyway. And even though a part of me thinks embracing blocks is crazy, there's another small part of me that wonders if it might be helpful. And even though that creates a conflict, I completely love and accept myself anyway. All right, on the eyebrow point, I can't believe blocks would be beneficial. Side of the eye, that makes no sense at all. Underneath the eye, how could a block help me? Underneath the nose, don't blocks get in the way? Chin, isn't it because of blocks that I don't have my desire? Collarbone, and now Catherine's telling me, rib point, that blocks can be an ally. Underneath the arm, now that I do not understand. Top of the head, I've always seen blocks as the enemy. Eyebrow, I've actually had bad feelings about blocks. Side of the eye, I never considered they could be signals. Underneath the eye, ongoing signals. Underneath the nose, there are lots of times in life, chin, when there are pauses, collarbone, and stops, rib point, Cycles have beginnings and ends. Underneath the arm. If life is like a big labyrinth, top of the head, you're supposed to come to dead ends now and then. Eyebrow. How else do you know that you're finished? Side of the eye. You get full. Underneath the eye, you get to the end. Underneath the nose. So if a block is a signal, chin, and it means something is changing, collarbone, then adapting is the way to go. Rib point. I've never considered blocks in my body. Underneath the arm. I'm more aware how they feel in my mind. Top of the head. Today I am choosing to get to know my blocks better so that I can tune in and smooth out and move forward until the next block shows up. Excellent. Okay, on the center of the chest. I release to the cellular level any old-fashioned beliefs I've been holding on to that blocks are evil and bad. I release to the cellular level any ignorance or poor education I've had about how energy moves through my body and about how manifesting works. I release to the cellular level another layer of that dang perfectionism that holds me back from being my best. Good. And then lay your hand right on your chest as if your palm is breathing into your heart. Take a breath. And repeat after me. I welcome back all of my creative energy that I have been spending willingly trying to pretend I don't like blocks. I welcome back creative energy that I have been spending trying to avoid the work of bringing myself into alignment. I am willing to learn what I need to do to recognize and manage my blocks as soon as I'm aware of them so I can flow. Excellent. Great. Thank you, guys. I feel 100 times better. Thank you for joining me this morning. This is Catherine, your Queen of Invisible Money. Thank you for letting me speak from my heart this morning about blocks. I really hope that you can take this to heart, that blocks could be our friend. You know, instead of running from them, if we feel blocked, to just look at it, say, what is it? Because you might be like me, who I think I want this, and then it shows up, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not so sure I want that. And then what do we do next? So if this message has touched you, please email me, invisiblemoneygame@gmail.com, and let me know how it struck you. And let me know about your blocks, because together we can move through these things. I'm learning how to put these on YouTube. Yay. So I'm working on that. And then I'm going to learn how to timestamp them so that we could go right to the tapping and you could repeat it. Because this tapping, when I know how to break it out, you could actually do this tapping every day even and just begin to embrace these blocks. Tapping is a miracle. If you're curious and you want to know more, reach out. I'm here to answer your questions. It's what I love to do. Have a beautiful weekend. Go forth and prosper, and let me know what's going on in your lives. I am so curious. Bye.